This is part 4 of teaching Castor to be sprayed with the hose. So this is going to be a little bit later, and we've already done all of the prior stuff, so I'm just going to start off by spraying on his feet because he's already cool with that. So definitely be sure to watch the first like 2 or 3 videos where I have this. Atlas also wants to be sprayed with a hose, which is the darker one on the right. So I tried to throw a treat over there and he did not see it. So I'm trying to get him over and out of the way so I can work with Castor. But that is a good like example. Like most people or most horses that, a lot of horses do like being sprayed with a hose, but a lot of them don't. So a lot of the time, like you have the opposite problem in this scenario where you whip out the hose and everybody runs away and they're afraid, and I have the opposite problem. He's like, let me touch the hose. Let's see what you got in the hose. Because the hose means food. Hose means good things instead of scary things. So that's pretty much the whole idea here is what I'm doing. But I just started off with spraying on his legs there, help him find his treat there. But I had to go get more treats, or I think I was on the phone, something like that. But I'm always going to start off on his feet in the beginning, and then I probably will just keep doing that. But if you want, like if you don't want to start on the feet, you can start on the shoulder or something else. I wouldn't necessarily start like on their neck or on their back or something like that. I mean, you can start there, but I would just teach that, like condition that as part of your routine if that's something you want to do. I usually just kind of start at the feet, work my way up anyways, or maybe the shoulders, but that's kind of up to you. But just be aware of it before you do it. That's pretty much the only requirement there. But I did his front feet, I'm gonna spray his back feet, and then just kind of get up a little bit higher. Because for me, like I'm not doing a ton of like bathing. I usually just spray them off in the summer to keep them cool. So that's another reason why I start with the legs is they usually get cooled off faster if you get their legs. I do spray the whole horse, but I do spend a lot of time focusing on that area and not just like cleaning them. But there I've worked my way up to the shoulder, so I was spraying on his shoulder. I clicked while it's spraying, and then I'll go ahead and grab him his treat. And I like doing this in the summer too. You could see like my first video was still like early spring and was still kind of chilly out. And I wanted to like get some preparation, just get him ready for the hose because I knew like in the summer it gets really hot and I need to cool them off. So I prepped that. But I also like to have the hose for myself in the summer because it's so hot. So like it's another thing while he's eating his treat there, then I'll kind of wash my hands off. I'll wash the hay cube off, and like sometimes when it's super hot, like I spray my own legs off and stuff. So, but and then just kind of gets them used to the water. But I mean, as you can see in this series, like it didn't take long. I just conditioned that spraying equals food, and that was pretty much it. It didn't take too much. I just wanted to show this like last video where I can spray him everywhere and he's completely relaxed. Like look at his body language. I know he's facing the wrong way. It's not the best angle, but he's got that hind leg cocked. Like his head and neck is not high. If you can kind of tell from his shadow, like you can see his head right there a little bit. Like it's like his neck's about level with his back or even lower there. And he's just kind of hanging out. Like he doesn't look tense at all. His body language doesn't change when I spray in different positions. So, like there, I started spraying on his shoulder, but already established that I'm spraying with the hose, and so I did start with the leg. But that's just another way to start the whole process. Like I started spraying there, he's like, okay, we're spraying, and then I can start like on the shoulder somewhere else. But as I was talking about earlier, if you want to just start the whole session somewhere else, I would just practice that and like spray to the side for a second and then go to the shoulder, something like that. But always watching the horse's body language because if they look tense, then I would just go back a step. Even if like they approach the hose and they're a little apprehensive, I would just go back a step, just so you don't have any like create any bad memories around the hose or anything else for that matter. But so I'm gonna get his back here, a little bit more on his shoulder and his neck, down to his hindquarters and his belly. And now we've kind of increased the amount of time that I'm spraying as well. So like in the beginning, it was body parts. So I'd spray his front legs, click. I'd spray his back legs, click. I spray his shoulders, click. Um, and now, like you can see, I'm doing his shoulder and his neck and his belly, just very similar to the fly spraying like order of training. So now I can just start adding things together. So in the beginning, like what you saw in the beginning of this video, I did front legs and hind legs. I ran in had to take a phone call. I know when I edited this, I had treats at one point and a phone call at another point. I just didn't know when. So you probably see a little bit better from this angle. I mean, he's just following my hand target. But it's the same thing as the fly spray. So I would do hind legs or front legs and then hind legs and add those together. You get a little scared because I got the rope in there. That's okay. I'm just going to click him and then start again and not pay too much of attention to it and try not to do it again so I don't scare him. But um, little things like that, like if you hit something and it scares them, I just don't react to it and then they probably won't in the future. But then I'll start adding other things together. So maybe I'll do hind legs or front legs, hind legs, shoulders, or shoulders, neck, back, and then you just add the whole horse. So like at this point, like now, because I'm voicing this over later on, I can do the whole horse and click. But in the meantime, like before you're going there, I would do like front legs, back legs, shoulder, and then front legs, back legs, shoulder, neck, and then add the belly, add the hindquarters, and then do the whole half of the horse click, and then do the whole horse and click, stuff like that. And usually once they get to that point, like it's not a big deal. Like they've already understood what's happening. If you're having trouble with that, I would go back and make sure that they're cool with the hose and go back and watch those first couple videos because that's where your problem is at. So, like right now, my routine for them is I whip out the hose, they come up to me and I spray off the whole horse and then I give them a treat. And that's it. And it's done. And it's really easy. So, um, it was really fast and it was really easy because now they're loose. Like they want to come and participate. So it really helps everybody out involved. But, and like Atlas wants to come back and see what I'm doing. And you'll see Atlas's progression because it's slightly different than Castor's because Castor is a lot more confident than Atlas is. It's very similar, but I just do break it down and take more steps to help him become more confident with it. But it's good for him to just kind of hang out here while I do spray Castor, and like Castor's getting sprayed with the hose and it's not a big deal. He can see that a little bit. That's not a great way to train, but it is a good way to have him exposed to the hose. Like I'm using the hose and it's near him, but it's not on him, and he's having a positive experience with it. He's not necessarily learning like by watching Castor being sprayed. He's just being exposed to the hose in general. So but I'm just gonna do the same thing on this other side. This is a much better shot here where he's facing the camera and you can see his body language and his face. His ears are nice and relaxed, his neck's relaxed, like his head and neck's real low while I was spraying him there. He's not, his stance looks relaxed, like he's not like ready to pounce or really tense or anything like that. And then I just kind of added this in. Then I was putting away the winter blankets and um, like I was saying before with me spraying the hose on Castor, like is a good thing for Atlas to see me kind of spray the blanket with the hose because the blanket's a little scary for him. The hose is a little scary, so I'm just letting him kind of experience that from afar, and you can see he is being very curious about it, so that is really good. And but at any time, like he could go raise, and it's very like just chill moment for him. I'm not forcing anything on him. I just do want him to just experience me doing things like around the barn. He's being more curious, so that is very good. But I just kind of kept that in so you could kind of see kind of the end result here. Like Castor's still like hanging out. He's chewing on his treat. He hasn't left, so he had a good experience there. He hasn't just left town and run away immediately after. So I'm really happy with this process.